The fact that the benthic plume forms a turbidity current that follows the contours of the seabed was a major finding. So we know that if we are mining on a slope, that turbidity current will flow down slope. The benthic topography is going to have to be considered when we do our mine planning. But what it does do, it means that we can actually predict where the sediment will end up with a high degree of accuracy. Basically, it's going to end up downslope, it's going to end up in the depressions. That was always a big unknown, is how far outside the mining area will these impacts spread. And knowing what we know now as a result of the information that was collected during test mining, we can answer that question with a high degree of confidence.
Our original mine plan is what we call straight line mining, where we try to drive as long distances straight, and then within the area we would like to operate, we're talking 80 to 100 kilometers. And then only once every few days make a turn and go back. But it comes with a price. If the collector drives in a straight line, the vessel needs to follow on dynamic positioning at the same pace, which takes quite some fuel. During the pilot, that maneuvering on the seabed is much easier for the collector. We made very sharp turns as part of the commissioning program, and as a result of that, you can decide to go for, instead of straight line, you can go for sweep mining configuration, where instead of the vessel following the collector, it stays stationary on top, and the collector does kind of back and forward sweeps on the seabed with sweep length somewhere around 500 to 1,000 meters.
One of the main findings from the collector test was that the currents at 4,000 meters behave very differently from the currents in shallower waters. So as we see in this model, there's more of a tendency to be, for the water to slosh back and forth rather than it being directional. And that was a major finding because in shallower parts of the water column, the currents are very directional. And that's why some of the models that have predicted how far the benthic plume would travel predict that it will follow the current.
It is known that over the year there is some variations on the subsea currents, and if it's like this, very stationary, we're good. If there would be a subsea current going into one direction in some part of the season, you can decide to mine upstream, and then the plume settles in already mined areas.